And I'm very excited, and I'm also very scared to introduce this topic because it breaks a vow of silence I've been on for like 30 years about a topic that can be easily interpreted by my ego as, this makes you special, Scott, which is why I was told to not talk about it for all these years. But it's partly the reason why I can channel songs from the divine into people's ears and hearts. So, in the 1980s, there was a woman in her 80s named Hilda Charlton who taught at Cathedral of the St. John of the Divine in New York City every Thursday night. You drop $1 in the thing, and boy, you're in with 400 other people. And I was told by my teacher, Alan Cohn, that this was his teacher. So I said, I gotta go. And partly because of what I call divine codependency. I couldn't say no to somebody that I felt like I had to please. And so this young lady, a little younger than me, I wanted to get in her pants, and she said, if you want me, you gotta fall in love with Alan Cohn. And Alan Cohn had some books, so I just walked into the bookstore in Fifth Avenue in New York City, called East West Books, and I looked up Alan Cohn, and in his first book there were references to Star Wars and Star Trek. And he had me. And he was leading a retreat very soon, very shortly, called, well, whatever it was called, I had to go. It was in Canada. It was going to cost me $300 that I didn't have. And I was like, how am I going to get the money? Well, his teacher, Hilda Charlton, had classes on Thursday nights, and I noticed that people sold things before and after her talk. And I used to sell laundry bags on the streets of New York City.
Right.
Con lemon, por favor. Oh, so New York City. So a friend of mine calls me up, like a few days after I met Hilda, after I put it on my goals list to be able to go to this retreat. And Hilda, the first time I went, she looked directly in my eyes. Out of 400 people, I could tell she was giving me she said, some of your minds are so closed. Kids, open your minds, at least to the possibility that what I'm saying may have some weight and may actually be true. What she had been talking about at the time was extraterrestrial beings coming into her living room, sitting down and having discussions with her about the cosmos and about life. And every time she brought that up, I was like, oh, come on, you've got to be kidding. Can't you teach a Course in Miracles and inner peace and meditation without mentioning this hokey bullshit? Please, you're losing me. And that's when she turned to me and said, open your minds, pray to have your minds open, just to the possibility, not that, don't even worry about whether I'm telling, just open your minds. And so 2 days later I get a call from a friend. He goes, Scott, do you still sell things on the streets? And I said, yes. And he said, I've got some t-shirts that have been sitting in my basement, 200 of them. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, I can't sell t-shirts. It's November. And he said, oh, that's too bad. They have a picture of a UFO landing, and they say, I believe on them. And I got the shivers and the shakes, and I felt something say, buy those shirts. So I bought the shirts, I sold them out in, I don't know, like 1 hour before her class, 1 hour after, and I was sold out, had enough money to go to the Alan Cohn retreat. Now, since then, that year, I started reading books channeled by Barbara Marciniak, Bringers of the Dawn, which came from the Pleadians, and Starseed Transmission by Ken Carey came from some celestial beings. I read all of his books, and every time I read more, I felt myself open to the cosmos, look up at the stars, and feel teachings and words. And they said, we're going to be working with you for a lifetime. And pick up your guitar and you'll see what I mean. So I started to channel through music these beings of light that have a celestial sense of humor, all the love and all the wisdom that I could ever handle for a lifetime coming through me song after song. So today's topic, you can turn this off now. The topic is